The sun had dipped lower, casting long shadows across the jagged canyon walls. The alien explorers followed the humans deeper into the wild terrain. Every step was measured, every movement cautious. Yet, despite the dangers around them, humans moved as if the predators were nothing more than old friends. Commander Vale kept glancing around. "I still do not understand," he murmured. "How can they be so calm? Even now, the predators are close. Any of them could attack at any second." The human leader, walking steadily ahead, glanced back. "You will see soon. You think survival is about weapons, but that is only part of it. Understanding is the real key." The aliens exchanged uneasy looks. Lyrak, always curious, leaned closer to Kira. "Understanding predators. What does that even mean? We have shields, energy weapons. Why does it matter?" Kira shook her head. "I think that is the part we do not grasp yet. They are not just surviving, they are controlling their environment with something stronger than weapons." The humans led them to a hidden valley, surrounded by cliffs on all sides. Strange plants grew thick here, and the ground was worn smooth, as if many creatures had passed through over the years. But the most remarkable sight was the predators. Large, fierce, and wild, they roamed the valley, yet they did not attack. Some even approached the humans, nuzzling against them or waiting patiently at a distance. Vale's eyes widened. This is impossible. How can predators behave like this? They should be attacking. They should be wild. The human leader smiled. "They are wild, but wild does not mean untamable. On our homeworld, we learned to work with predators instead of against them. We domesticated them. We turned danger into allies." Lyrak's mouth fell open. "Domesticated, you mean? You tamed them?" "Yes," the human replied calmly. "It took time, generations. But we learned their habits, their language of movement, their signals. And now they listen to us. We respect them, and they respect us in return." Vale frowned. "Respect predators? How does one respect a creature that could kill you in an instant?" The human crouched near a small predator, placing a hand gently on its head. The creature sniffed, then purred softly, a sound alien to the explorers. Respect is not about fear. It is about understanding. You do not fight what you do not understand. You learn it, and you adapt. Then it becomes part of your strength. The aliens watched in silence. Their weapons and shields seemed useless here. The humans had a mastery that no technology could match. Suddenly, a massive roar echoed across the valley. A predator unlike any they had seen before charged toward the group. Its size was enormous, and its teeth glimmered in the dim light. The aliens froze, expecting chaos, but the humans acted as one. The leader stepped forward, arms wide, moving slowly and confidently. The other humans spread out, creating space yet maintaining coordination. The predator skidded to a stop, confused by the calm in the humans' movements. Vale whispered, "This is impossible. No predator would stop like that, unless it knew them." The human leader knelt slightly, keeping his hands open, palms outward. The predator growled, but did not attack. One human walked around its side, placing a hand on the creature's shoulder. Another offered a piece of food. Slowly, the massive predator lowered itself, then lay down. Its eyes stayed alert, but it obeyed without force. The aliens were speechless. Lyrak's tentacles twitched in amazement. They are controlling it without weapons." Kira shook her head. "No, they are controlling it with understanding." The human stood, brushing dust from his hands. "This is the key. On our world, we learn to survive by turning threats into allies. Every predator has a mind, a will, a pattern. If you study it, respect it, and act calmly, it becomes part of your environment rather than your enemy." Vale took a deep breath, trying to process the scene. "We have studied countless worlds. We have weapons that can destroy entire predators in a second. But these humans, they are not using weapons at all, yet they are safer than we could ever be with ours." The humans led the aliens to a small settlement nestled against the canyon wall. It was hidden from view, almost invisible unless someone knew the path. Surprisingly, the settlement was full of predators, large and small, all calm, all obedient. Some helped carry materials, others rested in the open without fear. The aliens could hardly believe what they were seeing. Lyrak whispered, This is a village of predators. They are living here, as if they are part of the humans' world. The human leader nodded. Exactly. We do not just survive among predators. We thrive. We built homes, grew food, and created safety by learning their patterns and using them wisely. These creatures are not slaves. They are partners. They understand that we are not a threat, and we understand them. One alien could not resist asking, But how did you teach them? How is this even possible? The human smiled. It is not a single lesson. It is patience, observation, and consistency. You cannot force respect with fear alone. You gain it by showing you understand, by responding without aggression, and by never breaking trust. Vale's eyes narrowed. So you are saying survival is not about weapons, but about intelligence and understanding? Exactly, the human replied. Weapons only protect. Understanding creates safety. On a planet like this, understanding is the difference between life and death. And sometimes, it is the difference between thriving and merely surviving. The aliens watched as a smaller predator approached a human child in the settlement. Instead of attacking, it sniffed the child, then curled around protectively. The humans laughed softly, clearly used to this behavior. The aliens realized that these humans had a connection with predators that went beyond instinct. They had learned something almost magical. How to coexist with creatures stronger and faster than themselves. Suddenly, a shadow fell across the valley. The massive predator from earlier returned, circling the humans with keen intelligence in its eyes. It was testing them. The humans did not flinch. One knelt, offering calm gestures. Another approached slowly, showing food. The predator growled once, then sat, observing. It seemed to study them as carefully as they studied it. The aliens held their breath. Finally, the predator stepped closer, nudging a human's hand. The humans smiled as if greeting an old friend. Kira whispered, I never thought. Humans can actually do this? They can control a predator that big without weapons? Lyrak nodded slowly. It is not control. It is partnership. They are partners with danger itself. The human leader noticed their astonishment and spoke softly. You see, we did not become strong by fighting alone. We became strong by learning. Every predator, every challenge, every danger, if you understand it, it becomes part of your strength. That is the secret. Vale's jaw tightened. So, your survival. It is not just skill. It is intelligence, patience, and courage. No technology could replace that. The human nodded. Exactly. And that is why we can walk anywhere, face any predator, and thrive even in the harshest places. This planet, it is full of danger. But for us, it is home. The aliens continued to watch as the humans moved freely among the predators. The massive creatures, the small ones, even the most aggressive predators all obeyed the humans' quiet signals. It was a living lesson in survival, trust, and intelligence. As night fell, humans lit small fires in the settlement, illuminating the predators resting calmly nearby. The aliens huddled close, their minds racing with disbelief and admiration. Vale finally spoke, his voice quiet but firm. We thought we knew survival, but these humans, they are not just survivors. They are masters of life itself. The human leader looked at him, smiling. It is not mastery through strength alone. It is mastery through understanding, patience, and respect. That is what makes humans unique. In the darkness, the predators moved silently around the settlement, calm and obedient. The aliens watched, knowing they had witnessed something extraordinary. Humanity had not just survived, they had turned the wildest dangers into allies. And somewhere, deep in the shadows of the valley, a predator they had never seen before watched carefully, testing the humans. But the humans, calm and steady, continued their work. The aliens realized that the next challenge would be even greater, but humanity would face it with the same skill, intelligence, and courage that had already stunned them. The first light of dawn broke across the canyon, casting long golden rays over the valley. Predators of every size moved quietly among the human settlement, calm and controlled. The alien explorers, still trying to grasp what they had witnessed, followed the humans out into the open terrain. Today, they would see humanity's survival skills tested like never before. Commander Vale's 4 eyes scanned the surroundings nervously. I still do not understand how they do it. Any predator could strike at any moment, yet they move with no fear, no hesitation. The human leader glanced back with a small smile. Fear will never help you. Understanding will. Watch closely, and you will see the difference between surviving and truly thriving. The aliens noticed movement in the distance. A massive predator, taller than anything they had seen before, stepped out from the shadow of the cliffs. Its eyes were sharp, calculating, and filled with intelligence. The creature growled softly, low enough that it vibrated through the ground. This predator had not been seen before in this valley, and it clearly posed a serious threat. Vale whispered, "That is enormous. It could crush anyone instantly. Even humans cannot handle that." The human leader took a calm breath. "Stay back and observe. This is what we have trained for." The massive predator charged suddenly, shaking the ground with its steps. The aliens braced themselves, expecting chaos. But the humans did not panic. They moved with perfect coordination, splitting into 3 groups. One distracted the predator with careful movement. One offered food, and one approached slowly, showing open hands and steady eyes. The predator growled, stopped, and tilted its head as if confused by the human's confidence. Instead of attacking, it began pacing carefully, circling them like a curious student examining a lesson. Kira could hardly believe her eyes. "It's obeying them without any weapons. How is this possible?" Lirak whispered. "It is not obedience. It is trust. The predator trusts them because it knows they mean no harm." The human leader knelt and extended a hand slowly. The massive predator stopped pacing and lowered itself to the ground, growling softly but obeying. Another human approached from the side and touched its shoulder gently, offering a small piece of food. The predator accepted it without aggression. Vale's jaw tightened. This is incredible. Humans have turned even the deadliest predators into allies. We could never do this. The human smiled. Strength alone is not enough. Survival is about understanding, patience, and respect. That is how humans dominate danger, by destroying it but by working with it. Suddenly, a loud screech echoed from the canyon cliffs. Smaller predators, attracted by the massive creature's presence, began to run toward the humans. The aliens froze, expecting an attack. But the humans moved calmly, guiding the smaller predators with gestures and signals, showing them where to go and how to behave. Within moments, every predator in the area was moving as part of a coordinated system, Kira whispered. "They are controlling the predators, like an army." Lirak shook his head. "No, they are partners, not soldiers. This is beyond anything we imagined." The humans led the aliens to the center of the valley, where they could see the full scale of their mastery. Predators of all shapes and sizes were working together with the humans, moving naturally as if the humans were part of their world. Some predators carried supplies, some watched for danger, some even played gently with younger humans. The human leader spoke softly so the aliens could hear. "Every creature here has a role. Every predator has a mind and a habit. If you observe, respect, and communicate, even the wildest predator can be a friend, not a threat." Vale swallowed hard. "We thought humans were just survivors. But this is mastery of life itself. Not through weapons, not through force, but through knowledge, patience, and courage." A sudden roar echoed from behind the cliffs. Another massive predator appeared, one even larger and more cunning than the first. Its eyes gleamed with intelligence, clearly testing the humans. The aliens held their breath, fearing the worst. But the humans did not hesitate. They moved as one, signaling and communicating without words. One human offered food, another approached slowly, and a third kept the predator's attention with careful movements. The predator growled and paced, unsure of how to respond. After a tense moment, it stepped forward and allowed the humans to approach. Kira whispered in awe, "Even the strongest, deadliest predator. It listens to them." "I can't believe it," Larak nodded. "This is proof. Humanity is more than physical strength. They have a connection with life itself that no technology or weapon can replicate." The humans gathered in the center of the valley. The massive predators circled them, calm but alert. Smaller predators moved between them, showing trust and patience. The humans looked around at the aliens and spoke. "On our world, we learned long ago that survival is not just about fighting. It is about learning, observing, and respecting every living thing. Danger is part of life. But if you understand it, you can turn it into strength. That is how we survive and thrive." Vale finally spoke, his voice filled with respect. "We came here thinking humans were just survivors. But we were wrong. You are masters of life, not just hunters or explorers." The human leader nodded. "We do not claim to be better than anyone. But we have learned something important. True strength comes from understanding, courage, and patience, and from respect for the world around us." The aliens watched as the humans moved among the predators, communicating without words, guiding them, calming them, and even playing with them. The predators responded instantly, showing trust and obedience. The aliens realized that what they were witnessing was not training or control. It was harmony with life itself. A massive shadow passed overhead. From the cliffs, a new predator, taller and faster than any before, emerged. Its eyes burned with intelligence. The aliens froze. Even the humans paused for a moment, studying the creature carefully. The human leader took a slow breath. "This one is stronger, but the same rules apply. Calm, patience, respect." He signaled his team, and they spread out in perfect coordination. The predator lunged suddenly, but each human responded flawlessly, moving with confidence and calmness. The predator paused, confused by their lack of fear. One human extended a hand. Another offered a piece of food. Slowly, carefully, the massive predator obeyed. It circled the humans, sniffed them, and finally lay down, submissive but alert. The aliens could not believe their eyes. "No one in the galaxy could do this," Kira whispered. "Humans are beyond anything we imagined," Lirak added. "They do not just survive. They dominate danger without violence. They are masters of life itself." Vale looked around at the valley, at the humans, and at the predators peacefully moving around them. "This is not just survival," he said quietly. "This is humanity at its best. They adapt, they learn, they thrive. They do not fear the wild, they turn it into an ally." The human leader smiled, glancing at the aliens. "We do not claim to be invincible, but we have learned something most species forget. Strength alone is useless without understanding. Courage alone is empty without patience, and fear. Fear will only make you weak." As the sun rose higher, the humans led the aliens back to their settlement. The predators moved calmly beside them, part of the natural rhythm of life. The aliens followed, awed and humbled by what they had witnessed. Vale finally spoke, his voice filled with admiration. "We have traveled to countless worlds, faced countless dangers, and studied many species. But humans are something else. They do not just survive. They thrive. They master life itself." The human leader nodded. "We did not just survive among predators. We learned from them. We worked with them. And in doing so, we became stronger than any weapon or technology could make us." The predators, large and small, gathered around the humans, calm and obedient. The aliens realized that humanity's mastery was complete. They had not only survived in the harshest conditions, but had transformed danger into trust, fear into respect, and predators into allies. The sun rose fully, casting golden light across the valley. Humanity had proven its greatest skill, the ability to turn the wildest most dangerous world into a home and do so with intelligence, courage, and respect. Vale whispered to himself. We came here to study humans, but I think we have learned far more from them than they ever will from us. The humans moved through the valley, predators calmly following. They were survivors, explorers, and masters. And the aliens knew one thing for certain. In the galaxy, humanity was unmatched. The spaceport of Zereth 7 buzzed with life. Ships of all shapes and sizes landed and took off under the pale glow of the planet's twin suns. Dust swirled across the landing pads, kicking up small clouds that clung to the metal surfaces. Merchants shouted their deals, aliens of different shapes argued over trade, and the smell of strange spices filled the air. Amid the chaos, a group of alien explorers gathered around a shaded table, boasting loudly about their adventures. These beasts on Dravik 9. I ran circles around them, said a tall, scaled alien with 4 eyes and claws sharp enough to cut through metal. His voice carried across the plaza, earning admiring nods from the smaller crowd. Another alien, covered in black fur and spikes along its back, leaned forward. I survived the Talaron hounds. They hunt in packs, fast as storms. You humans, you wouldn't last a minute. A third, thin and elongated, with translucent skin, added, I was cornered by the iron horns. 10 meters tall, teeth like blades. Only my agility kept me alive. Humans are weak. You would have died instantly. The group laughed, slapping each other's shoulders. The aliens around them murmured in agreement, nodding and showing off their sharp teeth in admiration. Survival was everything in this galaxy, and these explorers wore it like a badge of honor. The human stood quietly at the edge of the crowd. He was not large, not muscular like the aliens boasted of, but his eyes were sharp, scanning every movement. His dark hair was messy, his jumpsuit simple, and there was an air of calm about him that no one could ignore. Humans had always seemed fragile to many species. They were slow, soft, and weak compared to DEATHWORLD-adapted aliens. But the humans simply watched and listened. The furred alien noticed him and sneered. Ah, a human. What's your name? Tiny one? Call me Jaren, the human replied calmly. He did not raise his voice, nor did he look intimidated. The scaled alien laughed, showing rows of jagged teeth. Jaren, huh? Do you even know what we are talking about? Death worlds. Places no human could survive. Not even for a day. I know, Jaren said with a small smile. But I think you are underestimating humans. The aliens froze for a moment, exchanging amused glances. The furred one chuckled. Underestimating? Humans can barely survive on standard planets without technology. You are telling me you can survive Deathworld beasts? Jaren's smile grew slightly. Not just survive. We tame them. We make them part of our life. The aliens erupted into laughter. Some actually slapped their knees. Others howled in amusement. Tame Deathworld beasts? The translucent alien hissed. That is impossible. They are predators. Fast, strong, deadly, and your tiny humans expect to control them. Jaren's expression did not change. He leaned back against the edge of the table and crossed his arms. Yes, we do. We don't just run from them. We learn them. We understand them. And then, we partner with them. The scaled alien shook his head. Enough talk. If you are so confident human, then prove it. Show us what humans can do. Or admit you are weak, like all the others. A hush fell over the crowd. The challenge was clear. Aliens valued survival above all else, and no human had ever impressed them in this way. Many had died trying to survive even the smallest Deathworld encounter. The challenge was dangerous, perhaps impossible. Jaren nodded slowly. I accept. The aliens stared, some with disbelief, others with excitement. The furred alien leaned forward. Very well. If you survive, we will respect your kind. If you fail, he let the threat hang in the air unsaid, because failure on a death world often meant death. I will not fail. Jaren said simply. The aliens gave him a skeptical look, but the crowd began to follow them to the edge of the spaceport. The planet beyond the walls was harsh, a wasteland filled with rocks, quicksand like sand, and the distant howls of predators. The air shimmered with heat, and even the hardiest aliens could feel the tension as they walked. Jaren observed everything. He noted the path, the rocks that could provide cover, and the large valleys where predators might hide. He did not speak much, letting the aliens' bravado fill the air. They boasted loudly, recounting tales of close calls, daring escapes, and near-death moments. Each story grew wilder than the last. Finally, they reached a rocky valley. From a distance, the ground trembled slightly. Dust rose in small waves, and the howls of unseen creatures echoed off the cliffs. The aliens froze, excitement and fear mixing in their expressions. "This is where we test you. Human," the scaled alien said. "If you survive here, maybe you deserve our respect." Duran did not flinch. He stepped forward, taking in the valley. His hands were steady, his voice calm. "These beasts? They are not just predators. They are partners. I can show you how we live with them." The aliens laughed. "Partners? Look at that. They are huge. Teeth like spears. Claws like blades. How can a human possibly tame them?" Jaren took a deep breath and whistled softly. The sound was faint, barely audible over the wind. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, movement stirred in the shadows. Massive shapes emerged, larger than any alien had imagined. Their skin was thick and armored, their eyes intelligent and alert. Muscles rippled under scaled hides, and every step they took shook the ground slightly. The alien's jaws dropped. One of the beasts let out a deep roar, but it was not an attack. It stopped a few meters from Jaren and tilted its massive head, watching him carefully. Another beast stepped forward, smaller but no less dangerous, stayed close to the human. The furred alien took a cautious step back. "What? What is this?" Jaren smiled faintly. "Meet my friends." He reached out a hand, and the smaller beast lowered its massive head. Jaren's fingers brushed its armored snout. He spoke softly, words the aliens could not understand, but his tone was gentle and confident. The beast responded by nuzzling his hand and settling closer. The larger beast let out a low rumble, sound more like a purr than a growl. Jaren clapped his hands twice, and the massive creature shifted its weight, moving closer in perfect coordination with him. The aliens watched, stunned. You tamed them?" The translucent alien whispered. "Impossible." Jaren looked at the aliens calmly. "We don't just survive DEATHWORLD beasts. We understand them. We respect them. We work with them. That is how humans thrive where others die." The scaled alien took a cautious step forward. "Show us. Prove it." Jaren nodded. "Watch carefully," he gestured, and the beasts followed his movements. He climbed onto the smaller one's back, and it knelt, allowing him to mount safely. The larger beast mirrored every motion, staying in sync. The aliens could hardly believe their eyes. Jaren gave a soft whistle, and the beasts moved forward together, fast and coordinated, but under complete control. The human's approach was calm, measured, and precise, not frantic like the aliens expected. Each step, each motion, showed mastery over creatures that could have killed them in seconds. The crowd of aliens fell silent. The bravado and boasting seemed small compared to what they were witnessing. One by one, their expressions shifted from amusement to awe. Jaren turned to them, still mounted, still calm. "This is how humans survive. Not by running blindly, not by luck. We study, we learn, we adapt. And sometimes we make the deadliest creatures our allies." The aliens looked at each other, speechless. For the first time, they questioned their own arrogance. Humans had always seemed fragile, slow, and weak. Yet here was one human, commanding beasts that could crush entire vehicles. The furred alien finally spoke, his voice low and filled with reluctant respect. You are different. This, I did not expect." Jaren nodded. "Expect the unexpected." Humans survive not because we are the strongest. We survive because we think, because we understand, and because we turn danger into opportunity. The shadows of the valley seemed less threatening now, the distant howls less terrifying. The aliens had come to test a human, but instead, they were the ones being taught and Jaren. The quiet human who had listened and watched all along knew this was only the beginning.